Hi friends! If it seems like I've been a little bit MIA lately on Instagram, etc., it's because I'm staying super focused and working on this. This is my big project for the Kaleidoscope Fashion Show at Vogue Knitting Live in New York, and the deadline is approaching very quickly, so I must stay the course. How's it going? It's been a little bit. I posted my last video on January 1st, nice little January check-in after Vlogmas. I've missed you all. Vlogmas was kind of like a boot camp for YouTube, I feel like. I just jumped right into that, not fully realizing what it's like to record stuff every day and then edit it every night and throw it out for the world to see every day. It's a lot, but I do miss it, and I think a weekly video might be pretty doable after that. I learned a lot. It was really fun, really enjoyed it, and I've been knitting up a storm since then, and I'm working on kind of a unique project that is sort of a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I don't think I'll be doing. I don't know. Who knows? You never know in the future. I've done a lot of weird stuff that I never saw coming, so you never know. But I am working on two large-scale, big deal, very different pieces for Vogue Knitting Live in New York City in February. I have two pieces that are going to be in the Kaleidoscope Fashion Show. I am extremely excited about this opportunity, and yeah, I thought I would document a little bit of the process because it is a very different project from just making things for yarn companies and making things for a book. These are more fashion, avant-garde art pieces that, you know, I'm not writing a pattern in 10 sizes. I am making one garment that is very special and unique and one of a kind, and it's been really fun. And as you can see, it's like a pile of black yarn. I've always wanted to do pieces in black yarn, very elegant and cool. My mood board that I sent in for the Vogue Knitting Live, like people that decide if you're in or out, you're in or you're out. It's like, it is very Project Runway, by the way. It is just like, if I had a Tim gun, that would be great. Like, to come tell me if it's working or not working or make it work. That would be helpful. Because I have 2 weeks until I need to mail these pieces to New York because they need them ahead of time. Because I was thinking, oh, I have till February. No, I don't. They need them late January because they're gonna have like probably a fitting and a trial run show, like a practice show, which I won't see any of that probably, I don't know. And then I will get to go to, Vogue Knitting Live in New York City in February and then see the real show. So I'm super excited to do that because it's going to be really cool, I think, to see this. It's going to be like it's going to feel like Project Runway to me, which I'm a big fan. I should just watch that show, and while I'm knitting to inspire me along the way. It's a lot. When you do things like this, personally, I feel like I'm on this little island of secrets. Like, nobody knows that I'm doing this, and it's so like on my own. We do actually have, though, a mentor coach type person. It is like a Tim Gunn, I guess, on the Vogue Knitting Live panel, like the board of judges, I think I don't know what they're called exactly, but I have a very cool friend who is sort of my advisor along the way and tells me, you know, the deadlines and what to do and the guidelines and all that stuff. So one of the guidelines that we are doing is you have to use an upcycled material. So the majority of my yarn is, I'm so thankful, provided by Rowan. They were so kind to provide yarn support for this big project, and they've been good to me over the years. Lots of projects with them, books with them, design work with them. And so they were really kind to provide the majority of the yarn that I'm using for these 2 garments. And then the upcycled material I'm using is black t-shirt yarn that I have upcycled from my own t-shirts from my closet that I was probably gonna get rid of. So this is a better way to reuse them. And in videos past during Vlogmas, you might have seen me making black t-shirt yarn. I have a way of doing it so you get one continuous piece out of the majority of the t-shirt, and then the top sections you can make shorter pieces, but it's nice to have one, as long as you can get one piece that's doesn't have any knots in it. So I have made lots of t-shirt yarn. I still have some left, but I'm running a little low. And then this is my t-shirt yarn balls that I've used some of them. Then I also have, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this. Maybe. Some of it is very experimental and you have to see how it works as you go. And towards the end, I'm gonna see if this is a good fit or not. But I cut up a plastic tablecloth and it's a little shiny because it's plastic. But again, Project Runway, you know when they go to the dollar store or something and they have to use like coffee filters or some weird material? This is kind of my experimental weird material. It does kind of look like leather from afar, and it might add a little fun sheen to the pieces, so we'll see. But if this looks weird, I am not sad about not using it because it might be a little odd, but it might be good, like a good contrast with the matte and the shiny. I don't know. And yeah, my mood board that I sent, I was gonna go into this a minute ago and I got off track, but I kind of made a mood board and I've been collecting photos, like fashion inspired stuff, real runway stuff, not always knitted, just dresses and different textures and materials. And it was all very black, 90s, a little bit goth, a little bit 9 Inch Nails, a little bit, I don't know, out there. And big oversized stuff, which I've always loved. I've always wanted to just go for it. And I think this is my chance to finally just go for it. Like, I'm really excited. I always stick to wearable, simple, fun things to knit that everybody can wear. But this is like my opportunity to go for it and just maybe make something really big and oversized and cool, or I've been making, they're way back here, sorry. I've made a literal pile of black I-cords. And you know where I'm going with this. If you've like looked at those boards on Pinterest with the extreme knitting, I may braid 3 of these together, sew them together, layer them. This is like still in the works because my first piece is done and it's sort of like a basic shell that I'm going to build on now with things like this that are more sculptural. And so this is kind of the fun part. And some of it, I don't know if I'm gonna show yet because I think I'm gonna show it after everything's complete and after the fashion show. So it's a little bit of a surprise, but you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Like big, chunky yarn to begin with, and then making it bigger. So I've almost got bigger strands of yarn to work with. And these are long, like, let's see. That's an entire skein of big wool in an I-cord, which is really fun. Like I can whip these up pretty fast and I'm like, wow, that was an entire skein. This garment, I'm not gonna show you the whole thing, is done. So one of them is done and I have to build on it. The other one I have just started. This is a skirt ribbed band, like a waistband. And I'm gonna be building a skirt off of this, which is really fun. And then the rest is all in pieces kind of, and it doesn't really make sense yet. So I'm not gonna show it yet, but to me it makes sense. It's all building blocks and pieces of these garments that are gonna be so cool, I think. The other thing is I don't know my models yet. We are just submitting. I have one piece that is in a size 50-inch bust, and the other one that's like a 36, 38 inch bust. So I am making it for 2 different models that I believe they use an agency and they find your models for you and all that stuff. And it's very interesting. This is just like definitely a different process than what I am used to, but it's so much fun. It is such an adventure. I haven't had any major problems yet. I haven't had to like rip anything all the way back and start over. Everything is really building on the piece before it and working together so far. So I really hope this all comes together in a really neat way. I'm just not quite there yet to show you. But the other cool thing is, okay, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram or on someone else's Instagram, I've got to think of the Instagram name where I saw this. It's something I thought I knew. I'll put it in the things below because I just lost the thing. The words are out of my brain. But she posted last year her yearly yarn label paper chain. And I thought it was the most genius idea ever, because one of the biggest things as a knitwear designer is keeping track of how many balls of yarn you have used and not being like very, very exact about it. And half the time mine are like rattling around in the bottom of my project bag, or some of them get like misplaced, or I put them in a pile on my desk and then they get, lost. So, and this is just a really fun way to track how much you have knit during a year. So I've just started collecting my Rowan yarn labels, which this number is gonna go way up just after today. And this is chunky yarn, so I'm kind of like going through it faster than maybe smaller yarn. But I've already made, I've already used all of this in about a week and a half to make these Vogue Knitting Live projects, which is really, really fun. So this is so cool. I know exactly how many balls of yarn I've used already. I know exactly how many I have left. And then you can go look back at your yarn info, the color, the yardage, the everything, the gauge, like the weight, the everything. If you just keep doing this and just keep attaching, I just use a stapler and just keep going. I'm totally doing this the whole year, and then it'll be so fun to look back on in December and see how much I made in a year. Because everybody on YouTube has been posting their year-end videos with everything they made last year, and mine is all over the place. And I mean, literally, most of the pieces are all over the country and in different places, because a lot of times I knit things for different companies and then I send them away. So like a huge collection of my stuff from last year is actually at Modern Daily Knitting in Tennessee. And then I have another group of stuff that's with Jimmy Bean's Wool and with Madeline Tosh. And so other people have my finished objects. So I was gonna do a video and I'm like, wait, I don't actually have these physical pieces anymore. I have my personal ones, like my Rhinebeck sweaters and stuff like that I knitted and I wore during the year, but it's like, I didn't even think I could do it, so I just didn't do it. But I knitted a lot of things last year. And I plan to knit a lot this year, definitely. This is already like a big start, a big jump start to January. But so much fun, and I can't wait to keep trying all this. And maybe the shiny, now that I see it on screen, this is kind of fun and does look like leather from afar. It does, because I was like, this is a tablecloth in my mind, this is a plastic tablecloth. But that's the upcycled part of this, is we're supposed to use this. I also have a whole bunch, because I just love the color black. I have a bunch of ribbon, I have tulle, I have black trim, like weird braided, I don't even know, like textured trim. Maybe I'll just add a bunch of stuff to this too, or knit it on somehow, or I-cord it, or I don't even know yet. So it's really, I have 2 weeks to figure it all out. 2 weeks to finish the rest of my knitting, add the sculptural elements, make sure it's really good, really cohesive and cool, and worthy of a fashion show. I'm up to the challenge. I just have to make it like what I'm envisioning in my head. So yes, wish me luck. This is super fun. I enjoy every minute of it. Some of it is, challenging and it's a struggle, and I think I can knit way more sometimes than I really can in a day. And this is really my first week at home with the kids really in school. Last week we were just kind of getting back into the school schedule. We only had a half week and we had short days. And then when everybody's home, the kids and my husband, it is hard to get things done. And I think, oh, I have a whole Saturday to knit. It does not work out like that ever in reality. So really these days, I have a few days ahead that I'm gonna be alone, and I only have a couple appointments. I had an appointment this morning, which took, until noon almost. So I just have to make really good use of my time. And when I'm home alone, it's very quiet, and I keep a lot of stuff off. I don't really even watch TV. Sorry, I have like a dry throat. I just work, focus and I have all my alarms set to pick up kids so I don't like forget anyone, because I do get a little bit absorbed into my I-cords and stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work on this. What else was I gonna show you? I have another project in the works though, another great January project that isn't such a deadline thing, but the Purl Soho blanket that I posted on New Year's Day is in the works too. It's just a little slow going, but I did start my other color where I'm gonna be decreasing down on this block. And then after this, I'm gonna add another block to the top with my blues and greens. Here's the colors I'm using for that. That's terrible, you can't see. Blues, grays, green, there's a navy too that I'm not pulling out of the bag, but all these beautiful colors of their Goodwill yarn. And it's the Prism Blanket knit along, and you should totally jump in. There's still time because they're not starting until like the 20th or the 21st of January. So if you sign up for this blanket knit along with Purl Soho, it's called the Prism Blanket. It's right on their website if you go look. You automatically get entered if you sign up for the knit along. You will be entered to win a gift card that is, I want to say $50, $250, what is it? I have to look at the amounts, but there's like $1,000 gift card you can win, and three other amounts. Like crazy good prizes. Then you'll also be sent a coupon code if you sign up for the knit along for, I think, a certain percentage off the yarn, which is already a great price. This is already like a really reasonable price for a blanket. I think you get 20% off or 10% off your yarn purchase as well. And the colors are so amazing. You don't have to pick these colors. They have other color palettes already on their website that you can pick from with their blanket kits, or they tell you the quantities so you can pick your own colors and do whatever you want. And there is a throw size and also like a baby blanket size. So you can pick 2 different sizes, any colors you want. They tell you how much to pick and how much to get. And it's a really fun knit along with prizes. So I encourage you to join us because there's definitely still time to order your yarn and get it shipped to you by the time we start knitting. And I've just started a little bit on my little block because they do go really fast. It's all garter stitch. And then the way that their instructions have you attach these, there's no seaming, like none, just weaving in ends, that's it. And you can, weave them in as you go. They all attach to each other. The construction is genius. And so you knit this in strips up and down, and they all attach as you go. And so it's really, really fun. This is a great project for the beginning of the year, in my opinion. Fresh start, fresh project. You could do like a block a month even and have a blanket by the end of the year. Really, really fun. Beautiful yarn, beautiful colors. Really nice pattern. All Purl Soho patterns are awesome. So that's my little plug for the Prism Blanket knit along. And yeah, now I'm gonna start knitting on my Vogue Knitting Live project. Have a great day. That's it for today's video. This is basically all I'm doing these days. I'm excited to be working on this extra fun project, and I can't wait to see everything come together in the end. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!